Hello and welcome to Thoughts and Updates. It's pitch black outside. It's been getting a little bit lighter. It was very pitch black earlier on. It was yesterday the shortest day of the year, the winter solstice. So I'm not out there, and I've also got a room or a house full of kids. So they're going to want their breakfast very shortly, and I'm on breakfast. So welcome to another week gone by. It's nearly the last weekend of 2019. It's certainly the last weekend before Christmas. Christmas arrived last night in a Tesco van, so there's a bit of preparatory work needing to be done over the next 3 or 4 days. So let me talk about, however, what's been happening roundabout in the last week. It's been an interesting week, as it always is. I think a week of reflection and thinking. And in Scotland, what we do have is a desire, a wish, a fondness for nostalgia and looking back. And that certainly has been something that I think we've all been indulging in over the last week or so. I've been looking at what I saw in theatre over the last last year, and in 2019, and picking out which areas I've found a lot of joy, and I'm going to keep that for next week and talk a wee bit more about that. It's certainly, in terms of sport, been an amazing year. Ayr United have gone from having Ian McCall at the helm to Mark Kerr. We lost 4-0 yesterday against Dundee United, but from what I'm hearing, they played a fantastic first half, and they certainly played Dundee United off the park. So if we can start to click together, then we might be okay. However, over the last few seasons, one of the problems that Ayr has had is from January onwards, they've really struggled. However, we'll see how that pans out. In terms of boxing, it's been an incredible year. It's not been the year that we expected. We wanted 2019 to be a year in which we had some kind of closure over the idea that we had an answer to the question who was the best heavyweight on the planet. We don't have that. What we have is we have yet again people being unsure as to when these fights are going to happen between Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. And I believe that we're beginning to find that people are waning in their enthusiasm for it and finding it difficult to really understand why it hasn't happened. So it's been a slowdown to Christmas in terms of some of the fights. During the night, Jermell Charlo beat Tony Harrison, knocked him down and out in the 11th round to regain his championship belt. We also, during the week, had the return of Tommy Fury, who knocked a guy out in the second round after being in Love Island Dynamite. Daniel Dubois, Triple D, managed a fantastic win against a Japanese guy nobody had ever heard of. However, came with a decent pedigree, and Dubois is fighting people who've got no losses on the record, so you can't be critical of him for that. However, the standard of opponent, I think, has got a lot to do with the fact that they're not able to get the names in the ring because Daniel Dubois is high risk, low reward. It was high risk, high reward for the likes of Nathan Gorman, pardon me, but not for anybody else. So why would you be a Joe Joyce and take him on, as was promoted last night on BT Sport? They were trying to get Joyce to bite. I don't see why Joe Joyce, at the age that he's at, he's in his 30s, would want to take on a 22-year-old who's certainly making a name for himself. It would be high risk and low reward. So all of that has been part of the reflection for the year. We're now, the Brexit bill has gone through Parliament in Westminster, and one of the issues that has arisen is the mandate. Less than 30-odd%, just over 30-odd% voted for the Conservatives in the United Kingdom, and they have a massive majority. Up in Scotland, 45% of Scots voted for the SNP, and they have something like 90-odd% of the seats, which is just as undemocratic and unfair. Absolutely, every day of the week. It was not a vote for independence. It was a vote, however, to endorse the campaign for India F2. 45% of people voted for it. Now, if you add in those that voted for other minor parties, then it might get close to 46%. It doesn't matter whether it's 45, 46 or 49. What matters is that there are a significant number of people in this country, in Scotland, who wish to revisit the referendum. Not to gain independence, but to revisit the referendum. Through the referendum, then those that believe that independence is the wrong thing have an opportunity, as they did in 2014, and they won fairly and squarely to an extent, because there were some dirty tricks being played then as well, particularly Labour Party canvassers who were phoning up pensioners and telling them that they would lose their pension in an independent Scotland. So this time round, we have more of the facts, we understand a little bit more about the process, and it should happen. We should have an independence referendum. I believe we should be independent, but I believe that it is incumbent upon me to make the case to convince my fellow Scots not for a general election to be used to somehow bludgeon people on either side into submission, which I believe is happening now. So, all good? We hope so. And then perhaps we will manage to win the argument. A letter has been sent from the Scottish Government to the British Government asking for their consent to invoke the article that's required to trigger a referendum. And we know that the answer is going to be no. But we're going to do it. Also, what has been utterly fantastic has been Fallon Sherrock. If you don't know who that is, go and find out who she is, because, wow, the very first woman to win a darts match in the World Darts Championship. Now, I'm a massive darts fan at this time of year, and also strongman. Those are the two things that I really do associate with Christmas. So this has been sea-changing, we hope, in terms of women's participation in the sporting world, and it would be fantastic to see even more of that excuse me, over the next week or so of the World Darts Championship. So, it's always going to be brief, always going to be a quick update. There will be more next week, but for the moment, between now and Christmas, I mark the 22nd of December as the day in which John Morrison, also known as Hobbit, was murdered in the centre of Glasgow, who I went to university with. So it's a solemn day. We have now gone past the winter solstice, so we're now going into lighter nights, not that you would necessarily notice. We also are less than a week towards Christmas, and I have now finished all my tutoring face to face. I have 8 tutees, 3 of whom are white Scots, 5 are of other ethnic and religious origins. So working with 2 of them on Friday night when the schools were all done, one Pakistani Muslim and one being Chinese, was interesting because their Christmas trees were up, their presents were wrapped, and they were going to participate in the whole shindig, but not necessarily the religious significance as it should be. So, have a Merry Christmas. Have a good restful period of time, and I'm away to go and do breakfast for 3 hungry kids who are through next door, who, when they come and stay for us, always get that made for them. So I better go and do that, because otherwise they'll give me a hard time. So until next week, which I think is the last Sunday of 2019, it's bye for now.